Assalamualaikum and a very good morning everyone. Welcome to Razak School of Government 7 webinar. Today's webinar is called Faster Together. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items and the structure of our webinar session today. To those who follow this webinar through Zoom, please mute your microphones. We are also broadcasting this webinar live on our Facebook. This webinar session is divided into 3 segments. First, we will begin with key questions posed to our panelists. Then, we will answer questions from participants. At any time during the webinar, you may submit your questions to the panelists. Just type your questions in the chat and comment section. Please keep your question short and straightforward. As time allows, we will address as many questions as possible. Lastly, we will then wrap today's webinar session. This webinar is recorded and you will be able to access this recording via our Facebook and YouTube page. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our panelists. Datuk Rosmadi Datuk Sulai is presently the Director General, Public Service Department of Sabah. Datuk joined the State Civil Service in 1981 and has served in various capacities in a number of departments, such as the Chief Minister's Department, Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Ministry of Social Welfare, Ministry of Communication and Works, and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. He was actively involved in many development projects in Sabah, such as the library in Keningau, sports complex in Likas, Tawau and Sandakan, the artificial hockey stadium in Kota Kinabalu, and Pusat Giat Belia in Sandakan, Tawau and Kota Kinabalu. He holds a bachelor degree in sociology from Southern Illinois University and master's in public administration from California State University, both in the United States of America. Datuk was instrumental in the inaugural joint program, New Age Leadership, between the Public Service Department of Sabah, Razak School of Government, and the Judge Business School, University of Cambridge in 2019. Datuk Dr. Sabariah Putit is presently the Deputy State Secretary, Performance and Service Delivery Transformation of Sarawak State Government. Datuk has been in the State Civil Service for the past 32 years and has undertook various roles such as the State Human Resource Unit Director and the Director of Women's Bureau under the then Ministry of Social Development. Datuk has led numerous transformation and innovation initiatives in the state. Among the highlights was the SCS 1020 action, which was proclaimed joint winner in the category of Innovation DNA together with India at the Commonwealth Association of Public Administrator and Management in 2016. She's also project leader, author, co-author, chief editor or editor of a number of state publications, such as the Borneo Talk. He is steering team leader for project of Old Kuching Smart Heritage, a visionary project to empower smart community. Datuk Dr. Sabariah holds a doctorate in human resource development from the University of Wales. She did her master's in business administration at Ohio University and studied genetics at University Malaya. Datuk Dr. Sabariah spoke at RSOG Young Leaders Forum in 2018. Before we go further, allow us to briefly share some background on FASTER. On 20th of August 2020, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Zulkifli Ali, the Chief Secretary to the Government of Malaysia, presented Anugerah Perkhidmatan Cemerlang to 154 recipients from various agencies at the Prime Minister's Department. In his speech, he urged public sector organizations to practice the FASTER, F-A-S-T-E-R, principle, which is flatter, agile, streamlined, tech-enabled, efficient, and resilient towards the nation's economic recovery. He urged for every department to break down bureaucracy by utilizing digital technology, becoming more flexible and responsive to people's needs, and more adaptive and sensitive to current changes. Datuk Rosmadi and Datuk Dr. Sabaria, let us get started.
All right, okay.
The first question to the guest speaker is, what is your general thought about FASTER? Please, yang berbagi Datuk Rosmadi.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Johari. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi, salam sejahtera. Saya akan gunakan di bahasa Malaysia campur bahasa Inggris, typical Malaysian, bila buat presentation. Okay, pertama konsep FASTER. It is a long overdue konsep bagi saya, bagi kita di negeri Sabah, karena sepatutnya kita sudah melangkah lebih cepat daripada apa yang sepatutnya kita buat sekarang. Dan kita telah buktikan bahwa Malaysia boleh apabila ada COVID-19. So we tend to work the fastest that we can go. And by now we should be focusing to the concept of a real time. Maknanya apa-apa perbuatan, apa-apa permintaan pelanggan kita kena tangani dalam real time, or at least a near real time. Karena kepuasan pelanggan yang ada di luar sana hanya akan terjawab dan rakyat keseluruhannya hanya akan berpuas hati apabila kita boleh menjawab dengan tepat dalam masa yang singkat. Or if possible a real time situation. Karena ini kita sudah lakukan dalam menangani COVID. We come up with the SOP, be it a federal, state of Sabah, state of Sarawak, real time. The moment insiden terjadi di airport, kita tangani dalam masa itu juga. Jadi ini satu membuktikan bahwa keupayaan penjawat awam, sama ada persekutuan, kerajaan negeri Sabah, kerajaan Sarawak, can do it. Boleh kita buat benda ini. Okay, just mengenai dengan FASTER ini, I just nak ulas sedikit dengan flat organization. Kita maknanya dari pyramid kita embark on a flat organization. Dan apabila kerajaan warisan lead government take over, kita restructure semua kementerian dan juga jabatan. We make it flat supaya kita dapat mencapai dapat capaian kita terus kepada rakyat, rather than we go pyramid kind of approach, which is typical government servant punya bureaucratic way of doing work. Okay, then to be agile dalam konteks ini, kita di kerajaan negeri melalui Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam, kita terapkan kumpulan pegawai atau pekerja yang berfikir. Kalau dulu kita tekankan pelaksana, sekarang kita terapkan pemikiran kenapa kita tidak berfikir sambil buat kerja. Kalau dulu apa yang kita kena suruh buat A, kita buat A, we deliver A. Sekarang ini apa yang kita terapkan kepada kalangan penjawat awam, thinking officer. So ini saya ambil daripada analogi waktu main bola. Dulu kita pasukan yang kuat karena pemain kita dulu berfikir. Sekarang ini saya tengok cara prinsipnya kita is a very mechanical kind of things. That is more on implementing, more on scoring, tetapi tidak berfikir. Oke, ini yang kita terapkan. Dan adaptability-nya, di adoption of ini di kalangan penjawat awam, kita juga telah buktikan waktu COVID-19. Kita berpikir macam mana mengatasi satu musibah apabila datang melanda negeri kita dan juga negara kita. So we cooperate, kolaborasi di antara State of Sarawak, Federal. I must say that we are at the excellent dalam menangani COVID. Mengenai dengan streamlining kita punya peranan untuk menjadi lebih efektif, kita sekarang ini lebih banyakkan daripada apa kita kalau di Sabah kita panggil turun padang. So kita mendekati dan kita di perkhidmatan awam kita terapkan satu nilai baru, santuni pelanggan kita. Bila menyantuni ini bukan semestinya kita tunggu di pejabat. Menyantuni ini kita turun padang, kita tengok, kita lihat apa kehendak sebenarnya. Karena apa yang sampai di pejabat itu tidak semestinya 100% sama seperti yang berlaku di lapangan. So kita encourage, including dengan yang amat hormat Ketua Menteri kita turun padang, our State Secretary sendiri turun padang, lihat ke apa yang berlaku dengan anak-anak buah kita di lapangan. So by having us on the ground, maknanya the moral of the pekerja itu akan lebih menghasilkan satu yang positif. Mengenai dengan teknologi enable, yang berhormat Setiausaha Kerajaan Negeri Datuk Safar telah memperkenalkan apa dipanggil 5A, yaitu accessible by anyone, at any time, anyway, any device. Dan ini kita telah buktikan waktu COVID. Kita kerja di rumah, tidak kira siang atau malam. Kadang-kadang kita buat video conferencing sampai subuh. Karena kita tahu kalau di Sabah ini, the last flight is around 3 o'clock. If there is a problem, everybody wake up, and we do our video conferencing. Itu cara kita menangani menggunakan kaidah 5E. Dan ini sepatutnya kita terapkan di kalangan semua penjawat awam. Dan kita juga di Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam memperkenalkan konsep 24/7. Maknanya kita berpikir, bertindak 24 jam dalam 7 hari. Karena klien kita bukan saja hanya di Sabah, di Sarawak, di Semenanjung, tetapi di luar negara. Jadi faktor masa itu kita ambilkan sebagai andaian kita untuk beroperasi 24/7. Maknanya flexi hours dalam kerja boleh dilaksanakan di peringkat penjawat awam. Untuk kita pasukan penjawat awam ini lebih kompeten, yaitu efisien, supaya dia lebih efisien, kita memperkenalkan 3 konsep, yaitu certification, accreditation, and affiliation. We believe that kalau engineer kita ambil sebagai engineer kerajaan, dia sendiri mesti certified terlebih dahulu. Karena bayangkan kalau engineer yang penjawat awam tidak certified, yet dia nak certified kerja konsultan, it is orang Sabah bilang terbalik begitu. Okey, dan sama juga dengan profession lain. Kalau dia surveyor, dia mesti certified. Kalau dia lawyer, dia mesti melulusi. Kalau dia accountant, dia mesti certified accountant untuk kita rekrut dia. So, maknanya untuk kompetensi ini, kita juga ada kerjasama dengan Saudara Joe, ROSJ, kita collaborate dengan beberapa negara di New Zealand, di University of Cambridge, di Canada. Hopefully by next year kita dapat realisasikan di Australia, di New Zealand. Tujuan dia is a very simple. Kita kena belajar daripada orang lain. Kita kena melihat apa yang terjadi di luar sana. Untuk kita enhance perkhidmatan kita, cara kita bekerja, cara kita menangani kehendak rakyat. So to be resilient, that is the last little word faster. mananya saya anggap semua penjawat awam ini boleh rebound, boleh recover immediately after sesuatu insiden. Dan ini kita telah buktikan dengan begitu baik semasa COVID. I think Sabah, Sarawak, di Semenanjung, we are still intake Yesa, member of public servant, kita masih meneruskan kerja-kerja kita regardless apapun keadaan, dan kolaborasi kita antara tiga entiti ini, Sabah, Sarawak, Semenanjung, I must say during this COVID incident is dalam very excellent, and I enjoy working with my counterpart di Sarawak, my counterpart di Semenanjung. And I do believe that kalau konsep ini dapat kita terapkan cara meluas dan juga kita mananya penerimaan kita kepada norma-norma baru, what we call is a new norm. To me it is not a new norm, but we are creating a norm untuk public service. Then this is a way forward for us to be more progressive and to be a more advanced countries.
Thank you very much, Dato' Rosmadi, for a very rounded thoughts on FASTER. The fact that you give a lot of practical example shows that the public service in Sabah is far ahead as far as FASTER is concerned. I would like to invite Dato' Dr. Sabaria to give some response on FASTER. Silakan, Dato'.
Thank you very much, Ismail. Saya ni, I want to be frank, I almost tak ada point lagi nak cakap. Pasal Dato' ambil
tak apa, Dato'.
Okay. I can, what I'll do is, I'll join you in your conversation, right? Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Ismail, for inviting the two of us to this session. Yeah, I think before we met in this webinar pun, kita dah banyak bersembang tadilah, in relation to how we move forward. Yeah? And I must say that this conversation is also timely. Yeah. When KSN put forth the idea of FASTER principle, as I say, even though I believe what Dato' Rosmadi was mentioning earlier, is true that it has been what you call that displayed and demonstrated during this COVID, during this pandemic. That's the way forward we should be moving. But I also believe that it must be internalized by many down the line. We have to move forward as a nation. And I also believe that this FASTER principle, in fact, indeed, touches on three very fundamentals, which is about people, the people, the processes, and the technology. These basic fundamentals of and the very essence of organizational DNA, whether it's state, whether it's federal, whether Sabah or Sarawak, I think we have to drive these three things. I must say that, you like it or not, since time immemorial, we have always believed in these three fundamentals to move forward. It's just about how do we carry and move forward to be agile, to ensure that these three fundamentals are in synergy, that everybody down the line is embracing it. I'm glad that Rosmadi have shared quite a number of incidences during the pandemic, similarly to the Sarawak context, for example, how we address the issue of the pandemic itself in relation to public health, in relation to our borders issues, in relation to how do we day-to-day moving forward and bringing the whole nation to manage the pandemic. I think Malaysia, you know very well, has been acclaimed to be one of the best. So I believe what Dato' Rosmadi has been mentioning earlier is the truth. that we are able to do this as a nation. Because of that, this principle become more glaring. Yeah, more glaring in the sense that it must be embraced and practices by every one of us in the public service. Ya, kalau saya boleh katakan, ya, kalau dulu these are the core things yang that is our challenge. That has become the pain in the butt, yeah, if I may say. Issues like just like you know, a flatter organization, right? We strive to be. I was telling I mean, this is timely in the sense that if we say it's a flatter organization, right? Not just within the context of Sarawak Public Service or Sabah Public Service, but between federal and state. Yeah? If we can now, we don't have to meet each other.
Okay.
We are flat in this webinar. Even our officers are here with us. There's no hierarchy. You know, we can make and share our, what do you call that, our knowledge, our concerns together and find solutions in a more flatter, in a more team-based and non-hierarchy. You know, I'm so happy sometimes now that because by default, yeah, by default, this pandemic taught us, has taught us the very essence of human being. We are flat. There's no hierarchy. We have to move to soft solutions. What the people need now is what Dr. Rosmadi said, is a real time. Yeah, we don't have to think, oh, I have to report to the next committee, to the next, to my boss first before I meet you.
Right.
Yeah. So now it's about looking at to enable this to happen, right? The processes must be streamlined. Yeah. This is the issue that we are facing now. Even though we can be flat, but we have such a bureaucracy, not just about people here. It's about the processes. Yeah, it's about kind of there are a tall order. More so with tak payah cakap in terms of federal state. Yeah, sometimes among the state itself also, we have different levels of decision making. Yeah, now you are talking about kita. I think through our devolution of power earlier, sebelum sebelum COVID pun kita dah address itu ni, ya. Issue between giving empowerment to the state, ya, from the federal end, ya. Ini kalau federal state ni, ya, these are issues that we are still now going to address. I'm happy and in fact excited about this faster principle because it touches on these basic things that we actually find it very tough to actually address it kalau KSM tak lead us to this principle. Ya, banyak benda yang kita boleh, there's many solutions that can be that we can come up with if we have this fast principle in place. Ya. Saya bagi contoh, for example, issues of relating to for example, realizing our Malaysia plan. Yeah, this is a big thing. I don't like to touch it during this webinar, but this is the real thing that we are doing now for the next example. Yeah, this coming 12 Malaysia plans that we're planning, right? Yeah, I'm going to translate this post-COVID thing. I hope by then next year is a post-COVID of Malaysia plan exercise. Yes. And the crux of the matter is this plan has to be realized within the next 5 years. If we have this faster principle of a flatter and also a more streamlined processes, and also, for example, our the need to be agile to meet the needs of Sabah and Sarawak for that matter, we have to relook at revisit at our even for example our ordinances or acts which are more archaic, yeah, that has caused unnecessary bureaucracies and so forth. Yeah, these are things that real that become what do you call that? Become a barrier
Right.
to success that we as a nation can move forward in a better future. Yeah, this can happen. We mungkin saya cakap macam ni, every happening there is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is a big opportunity that God has put us for. Hey, come on, reset your thinking, revisit what you guys have been doing. You already press yourself too hard on the wall, yeah? Tak boleh buat dah. God said, duduklah, duduk. Duduk and fikir semula. Kita kena buat secara team base, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Sabah, Sarawak and the whole nation has to really sit down to address issue for the sake of the community now, who really needs the government of the day, to think as one. This one, yeah. Secondly, is we have to think as a nation through this faster principle as a whole government approach. Yes, Malaysia is only one government. Yeah, it cannot be so other levels lagi, you know, other that kind of component, I mean, issues that used to be earlier. This is the thing that is hampering us.
Right.
And I believe with this faster principle, come forth the 12 MP, post-COVID, yeah, we see that this pandemic itself has so many lessons learned, yeah, and I believe when we move forward in the 12 MP, we are going to be better through this principle, yeah, flat, agile, processes are streamlined, more digitalization or tech-enabled, and of course, the last bit of the principle which I totally believe is, and also become the most critical success factor, is the people. Having the right people, having the right talent, Datuk Rosmadi dah cakap tadi about competency.
Right.
We need people who are professional, competent, and of course the right leadership who are willing to drive this journey. This journey is not going to be easy. I always tell everybody doing this transformation, it's not for the faint-hearted. Sebab tu the word resilient tadi.
Yes.
We have to persevere. Yeah, every one of us, you know, really macam kata orang Sarawak ni, bersekongkol, bukan sekongkol untuk tak baik, bersekongkol untuk kataan kalau Sarawak ni dia kata berkukut. You know, we got to help each other. Yeah, we have to back each other to make things happen for the people sake. Yeah? Itu I think I can stop this, and kalau tak boleh habis kita tadi.
That's a very inspiring way, Datuk, you relate the faster principle to the nation itself as a whole to move forward, recovering from this pandemic. We will move to the second question, Datuk Rosmadi and Datuk Sabaria. The second question reads, how can we encourage this idea of faster to the public service? Datuk Sabaria, what do you think?
Right, I believe I will continue where I stopped earlier. Yeah, remember, if I can let us reflect, yeah, a little bit here. Yeah, we have a vision. Our vision is still there, right? We have a shared prosperity vision of Malaysia Sejahtera, if I call it. Yeah? Shared prosperity by the year 2030. Kalau translate Malaysia Sejahtera lah, ya, dalam tahun 2030 tu. Ya. Our mission now, PM dah cakap, ya, we have Malaysia Prihatin, Malaysia Cares. Through this mission, ya, remember that. And public service must embrace this. Ya. Sebab kita dah cat ni bersama dengan our leadership. Ya. We need to support our leadership to translate this. Ya, translate it supaya Malaysia akan jadi sebuah negara yang Malaysia Sejahtera 2030 through Malaysia Cares. Ya. Jadi maknanya all of us, ya, must know this, must not fail this line of sight. Every public servant, that's the first thing. Leaders at all level must have this line of sight. Ya, sebab tu kita perlu every one of us to share this information, ya, to cascade supaya setiap level. Selalunya challenge kita ni, ya, at the top management, semua cakap we are in synergy. Sometimes kita ada satu layer tu, ya, at the managerial layer tu, kadang-kadang tak sampai ke bawah. Sebab kita nak bawa every levels ni. Ya, sebab walaupun kita top management, kita kata okay, kita nak translate ni. Tapi kita forget bahawa kita punya tentera yang kat bawah-bawah ni, ya, our support staff dan sebagainya, they are nowhere in this conversation. Saya, the 10 years, if I can share a little bit, ya, how we try to actually inculcate or internalize the SCS 1020 that we started in the year 2010, ya, until this year lah, ya, by default dia habis this year ni. Yeah. The 10 years journey that we have, this is, there are many lessons learned, yeah. It's not easy to actually get all our officers and our staff, staff at all levels, you have to embrace. Ya, orang kata, you have a shared vision letak kat dinding. Ya, but how do we get everybody to embrace it? Ya, sebab tu kita kena ada, you know, cascading tool. Ya, maknanya every levels tu kita ada different initiatives. Ya, kalau kita in the SCS 1020 dulu, kita memang begin with very simple vision sharing, mission sharing for all the heads. Ya. Because by 2080 tu, Pareto punya principle, if we can get 20% tu, who are the core drivers, yeah, to embrace this, to know where is the line of sight, where is the vision of the nation, and to make sure that this team are able to generate the motivation level of all the public service at different levels. And we also create what we call as, for the support staff, initiative seperti, like I say, ICC is one of them. It's a very important tool. Yeah, sebab ICC ni yang generate our support staff because it's driven by bottoms up. Maknanya isu-isu dari bawah tu, our frontliners, dia bawa ke meja untuk dibincangkan dan diterjemahkan, dipikirkan, cari solution. Get innovative solutions. Yeah. Tapi kadang-kadang kita ni, itulah tadi, kalau kita boleh gunakan faster principle ni, maknanya kita nak pastikan bahawa solution kita tu tak semesti rocket science. It could be the most logical thing to do. Yeah? Because kita kena buat keputusan ni through situational. Kadang-kadang ini yang saya risau, ya, sebab going through this process, kadang-kadang kita lihat bahawa kita terlalu bogged down with analysis. Ya?
Yes.
Kita forget, orang kata analysis paralysis.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Okay, this is the logical thing to do lah. Saya kata, kadang-kadang isu, saya bagi contoh lah. Isu kita di Sarawak ni, kita kurang, right sizing kita ni, kita masih kurang lagi jumlah. Yeah, in terms of, tadi saya boleh share the numbers that we have, 14,000 civil servant or 15,000. In a nutshell, we have plus statutory body and council dalam 30. Yeah? We still have jumlah yang rendah compared to federal service. Yeah? Ini yang Sarawak, mungkin Sabah have a higher ratio. Better ratio than us.
Sama juga Datuk.
Ya. Tapi sekarang kita nak lebih, okay? Sebab kita sama satu lagi dengan federal government. Okay, saya lobby awal-awal. The federal government should give us more more post, ya. Sebab post kita ni memang kurang banyak. Ya, sebab kalau by population pun we 1 to 100. Ya. Kalau in terms of PNP pun saya boleh katakan we are only 10%. 10% of PNP, where else federal agency has 31%. So saya kata orang Sarawak ni kena kerja 3 kali ganda. Tapi muncullah now with this principle, kita by Zoom ya, masih pening lagi. Pasal Zoom ni pun, pasal ni boleh 3 Zoom satu kali buat. Tak pening ke? But then a lot of things can be done faster through digital technology ni. I mean, I divert sikit sini, but at the same time, as I said, we create all those initiative. Contohnya dalam pada kita buat ICC tu, to make sure this culture of innovation and knowledge seeking is free. Tak payah hantar dia pergi jauh-jauh, because they are able to learn from the coaches and from among themselves. They become self-driven. Ini yang kita lihat, my observation over the last 10 years. So from 22 teams yang kita ada untuk ICC ni, the state by then we have now more than 200 team throughout the civil service. Ini nak pastikan bahawa we are able to bring, kalau kita guna this platform, we are able to bring our staff, lower rank staff to be part of the conversation.
Yes, that's true.
Ini yang Datuk Rosie cakap tadi. Of course, to make sure that apa yang dia bawa on the major on perbincangan tu, they actually brought it from the ground, from the community, from the grassroots. But dalam platform ini mereka dapat bincangkan bersama management at times, So that's where the management can actually address the issue. Address the issue yang community perlukan, for example. Of course, in terms of training, we also must address what we call that kompetensi mereka dari segi design of the program and so forth. This is one of the example. But other than that, saya melihatkan bahawa there is also a need for now, more critical. Pandemic ni bukan memaksa, actually, but it is, it force you to actually immediately look for innovative solutions as a team, whether state, federal, or state or federal agency, or even private sectors. Saya nampak satu perjalanan yang macam transformational for Malaysia as a whole, kerana penglibatan the third sector, which is the NGO. Kita boleh nampak masa pandemik ni, NGO pun turun padang main peranan. Dulu kita tak nampak ini menyerlah. So maknanya, FASTER principle is not just within the context of public service. It's also in the context of the whole wide nation, whether it includes public, private, and the community, and also the NGO. Sebab kalau kita lihat pandemic punya issue ini, it's all about bringing us closer to the community.
Interesting, Datuk Sabar.
Yes, it is interesting because community dulu is not part of the equation. But somehow God said, hey, look, you have left this community, so the community has been part of the conversation. That's one. Number two, the community, in fact, by default kita ni, become the order of the day because it's all about public health. And when kita challenged by pandemic ni pun, kita lihat bahawa yang banyak affected ni, beberapa segmen kita yang affected because of pandemic, MCO dan sebagainya. That's why our people, our segment ni, some may have lost their employment. Yeah, some may lose. Most kalau kita tengok our entrepreneurs, for example, banyak yang loss of income. Yeah, this is where I believe kerajaan Malaysia as a whole and the state, for example, are very fast in providing the necessary bantuan, which is the stimulus packages. But I can tell you, this was meant for a temporary measures. The state government, federal government, state government, we are now really moving into what we call as a sustainable model to ensure that we address this for a long period of time so that everybody has a plate of rice. Yeah, everybody are comfortable come post-pandemic. Yeah, so maknanya there's again the urgency for public sector leaders to ensure that every civil servants or public servants are as part of this conversation again to realize the government agenda of the day, terutama sekali kalau kita nampak bahawa the urgency for us to come up with initiatives and intervention yang sustainable untuk membantu to create employment opportunities, to assist. Saya banyak nampak dalam program-program sekarang ni, whereby everybody turun padang, making sure that the reskilling, upskilling of all those affected by this pandemic are going to be done. On a, kalau boleh kata Datuk Rosmadi cakap tadi, real time. Sebab time cannot wait for them to actually be equipped with the necessary skill. Sebab kalau kita nampak now everybody by default become e-entrepreneurs or riding on the e-platform, right? E-commerce. I believe kalau Sarawak ni kita ada 68,000 entrepreneurs. Bayangkan how many yang affected ni. But then again, now about 5,000 or 6,000 now ride on the e-platform. But I'm looking at a figure whereby these people are going to have more of them going to ride on an e-platform. What are the challenges they're going to face? Product dia kena kompetitif. Access to must have internet access, accessibility to a digital platform, and then the skills they needed to write on digital platform. Not only that, we need the government of the day. Kita sekarang ni tengah buat semua ni supaya mereka dalam masa pandemik pun kita dah buat our ministries who had actually assist them to create the e-commerce platform for them to actually sell their product immediately.
Dr. Sabari,
Alright.
We would like to invite Dato' Rosmadi to share his thought on the second question. How can we encourage Dato'?
First thing, apa yang perlu kita buat di Sabah, dalam konteks negeri Sabah, saya boleh cakap apa yang kita buat, semua norma-norma baru itu, a new norms kita embedded in our system, that is through our peraturan-peraturan kerajaan dan semua dan government regulation, kita embedded dalam service kita. That is one thing. Kedua, mengenai dengan macam mana kita nak terapkan ini semua. Satu, di willingness of government servant, penerimaan government servant. Tetapi bagi saya sekarang ini tidak menjadi masalah. Cuma kita macam mana nak budayakan a new norms. Macam mana kita membudayakan. Because kita telah buktikan waktu COVID. We work real time. We work 24/7. Everything yang from analog kita boleh digitalize because we aim to accommodate the needs out there. Kita kena terapkan. So, maknanya proses pembudayaan cara kita kerja sekarang ini, kita kena enhance. kita sekarang ini video conferencing everybody down the line regardless of your rank. You can nanti tanya, boleh mananya kita kongsi bersama macam mana mengatasi satu-satu masalah. Okay, just to digress a little bit mengenai dengan Malaysia Care. So interesting, Dato' Sabaria tadi brought up this thing. Yang satu benda yang saya masih pelik sekarang, kenapa hanya shared prosperity? Kenapa tidak shared liability? Maknanya, kalau kita prosperity kita bagi konteks negeri Sabah dan Sarawak, we shared our prosperity since 1963. But we never, orang tidak share our liability. We work as a nation. We should by right sama-sama tanggung, sama-sama maju, sama-sama berjaya. That's why I said shared prosperity as shared liability, then baru kita qualified to call it Malaysia Care. I care for you, you care for me. So barulah kita boleh maju sebagai satu negara. Okay, I just take for example mengenai dengan budget appropriation for Sabah atau seluruh Malaysia. What is our formula? Up till now, nobody can answer. It is based on the size of the state. It is based on the population. We define benda yang boleh kita manipulate. Tidak ada satu definisi yang tepat. Bagi saya, why don't we just define based on the size? Because size never change. Besarnya Sabah, besarnya Sarawak, besarnya Tanah Semenanjung itu tidak akan berubah. Population become a secondary consideration to determine the budget appropriation. Because population, dia boleh meningkat, dia boleh berkurangan. So, kita mesti ada satu fix formula untuk budget appropriation. You look at the national budget. Berapa yang pergi Sabah, berapa yang pergi Sarawak. Yet we claim that Malaysia is 3 entity. A due consideration should be given to that extent. That's why kenapa kita tidak selaku penjawat awam terapkan satu norma baru dalam membuat consideration apa jua perjawatan ke budget, name it, must be a shared prosperity in a shared liability. Satu. Kedua, saya cara pribadi I'm not saya ini tidak minat dengan pilot project dengan feasibility study because I believe government servant should be the authority to decide yes or no. But if we look back, berapa banyak ketirisan kewangan yang kita spend untuk pilot project? After pilot project is no longer a pilot, is already landed, maknanya tidak boleh dipakai lagi after 2 or 3 years. The same goes to feasibility study. In the moment kita appoint satu penjawat awam because we do believe, we trust that that person can deliver. And we must give that trust to them to carry on. Why must we engage somebody else in telling us that these things should be done like this? And yet, after some time, we forget about it. Okay, then dalam konteks negeri Sabah, the state secretary dengan sendirinya buat master plan, 5 strategic plan for what you call digitalization of the state government. Okay, now pada kita target is dari sehingga 2025 kita jadi digital innovation. It's no longer we are talking about digital transformation. At that point of time, we are talking about digital innovation. And like it or not, sekarang ini pun kita sudah buat digital innovation. Masyarakat di luar sana, we're talking about Grab, now is taking over the restoran punya peranan, is that digital innovation. In that kind of mentality yang harus kita terapkan among the young generation. That kind of mentality yang harus kita terapkan among the lower level management. way down from managerial down. Ini yang sepatutnya kita terapkan. In kita sebagai top management, we should encourage that ideation daripada bawah. It's no longer is detected by the top down. It should be bottom up. We prove it now, waktu COVID. It's even that our young officer is more creative than us. We should admit, I admit that they are more creative than me. Kita kena bagi proper leadership. That is one thing. Then when we talk about digital innovation, tadi kita simbang-simbang mengenai dengan digital innovation. Sarawak has been sudah tubuh multimedia dia dan sebagainya. In that alone, di Sabak pun kita sudah tubuh, kita punya master strategic plan that the federal should come in and assist us in many ways. Because kita buat ini untuk negara. Yes, it's true berdasar di Sabak punya template. Tetapi at the end of the day, the outcome orang di luar sana akan tengok sebagai inisiatif negara kita Malaysia. Dan beberapa inisiatif yang kita telah buat di Sabak. At one point we don't believe that development plan boleh lulus 24 jam. We did it in Sabak. We are the first one in Malaysia to do it. Development plan boleh lulus dalam 24 jam. Then we introduce dengan Dewan Bandaraya Kota Kinabalu. In that kind of initiative should be orang lain pick up juga sama-sama. Bukan saja di Sabak tetapi di Sarawak, di Semenanjung pun boleh pick up benda yang sama. Then we share itu knowledge. Okay, mengenai dengan community participation, yes, is very interesting. Sekarang ini kita nampak bila COVID, ketua kampung pun boleh kita empower to protect dia punya community. Dan ini sepatutnya dari dulu kita sudah terapkan that every entity mesti ada some kind of authority to exercise. Dan barulah kita boleh menjadi satu negara yang mengamalkan apa yang dirangka oleh negara. Karena kalaulah semua top down ini, jadi orang Sabak bilang tidak kesampaian kita ini. Karena dia from level 1 to sampai ke bawah. Tetapi the moment we empower the community, empower the NGO to be with us, with one vision, that is shared prosperity and shared liability, kita boleh menjadi satu bangsa yang berjaya. Dan mengenai dengan peraturan-peraturan yang sedia ada, yang membendung kita, yang menghalang kita untuk lebih pantas, lebih faster, kita kena rewrite balik. Maknanya kita tutup buku dulu, then rewrite a new things. Kita rewrite balik, misalnya budget tadi, kenapa mesti 5 years plan? 5 years plan is dari dulu lagi. Kalaulah betul 5 years plan ini berjaya, soalan dia, kenapa kita tidak maju sampai sekarang? Something wrong with the way we are framing our thinking, framing our planning, that need kita tengok balik. Ya. Misalnya dalam COVID, kita tidak diberi masa untuk berfikir. Tetapi we rewrite the new rules and regulation untuk menangani. Dan kita berjaya membuktikan. Kenapa pula benda yang kita sudah ulang sejak tahun 1963 kita Malaysia ditubuhkan, we are still attached to 5 years, 5 tahun planning ini. Ya. Orang-orang muda boleh fikirkan, ada ala cara baru ke yang kita boleh buat? Could be a yearly planning untuk lebih cepat sampai kepada masyarakat. Could be a new way of thinking dari segi budgeting. Sama juga dengan perkhidmatan kita kepada rakyat. Sebelum COVID, kita tunggu orang datang ke ofis kita. Waktu COVID, kita datang di kampung antar makanan. We reverse. Maknanya kita kena question balik peranan kita selaku penjawat awam. Pemahaman saya mengenai dengan penjawat awam is very simple. Kita memberi perkhidmatan. Kita memberi perkhidmatan kepada rakyat. Dia tidak bagi tahu macam mana cara, tetapi memberi perkhidmatan. So, keluhan rakyat di bawah sana, the grievances by the public is that kita lambat. Kalau kita lambat, kenapa kita tidak turun? Why must we wait? Dan bila kita terapkan pendekatan-pendekatan seperti begini, I do believe rakyat Malaysia ini tidaklah kejam sangat. Kalau bisa turun padang bersama-sama dengan dia orang, sama-sama mengatasi, sama-sama apa saya panggil shared prosperity, shared liability Malaysia. Saya yakin, saya percaya dalam tempoh terdekat kita boleh menjadi negara maju. Tetapi kita mesti sama-sama share the prosperity and share the liability. So with that, I do believe the young generation akan lebih cemerlang. So, saya boleh digress a little bit mengenai dengan Hari Malaysia. Karena besok Hari Malaysia. Jadi ini juga satu penerapan nilai kepada generasi muda bahwa Hari Malaysia ini adalah milik bersama kita, yaitu Sabah, Sarawak, dan Semenanjung. Dan sepatutnya the focus is more on Hari Malaysia. Karena inilah satu tari keramat bagi kita untuk membentuk Malaysia. In we should, I think, besok kita merayakan. Saya mengajak generasi muda untuk mengamati lebih dalam apa arti Hari Malaysia 16 September. Boleh tambah lagi? Ada masa lagi?
Kita kesuntukan masa sikit, Datuk.
Kesuntukan masa, okey.
Alright. Datuk Rosmadi and Datuk Sabaria, you raised some fundamental question and observation in the discussion just now. I'm sure some of our colleagues in this webinar would like to extend this discussion further based on the question and the observation that you shared. We have to start taking question from the participant. There's one question from Puan Normah Yahya, which read, 5A is a very good. However, don't you think that internet penetration, network coverage in particularly East Malaysia should be upgraded and should be cheap so everyone can participate? Datuk Rosmadi dan Datuk Sabaria, some brief response.
Ini memang directed to me lah. Okey, mengenai dengan 5A ini betul kita recognize that problem connectivity is the criteria, the main criteria that we should address. But we should not stop. Kita tidak boleh tunggu bila ada baru kita buat. Kita buat dulu. Let the infra, orang Sabah bilang bubut kita. Because penyediaan infra ini adalah tanggung jawab bersama di antara federal and state. Kita memang di state mengharapkan kalau boleh 5G sudah di Sabah ini semua. Tetapi apa boleh buat, masih lagi ada orang Sabah naik pokok kelapa di atas dapat capaian. But that is good because it's a citizen participation and now that area sudah connected. Maknanya rakyat sudah menunjukkan kesungguhan untuk menikmati apa kita panggil 5A. So, let us lead the way in the infra to come in, hopefully dengan cepat juga. Karena the demand is already there. The order of the day is 5A. Jadi maknanya infra kena synchronize dengan kita. I do hope our counterpart di Semenanjung supaya connectivity ini merupakan satu agenda yang penting dan diutamakan.
We couldn't agree more, Datuk Rosmadi. Datuk Sabaria, any feedback?
okay, on the same note, yeah, of course, digital infra become the order of the day. Yeah, kalau tak ada, I mean, that one will make us lagging in terms
Yeah.
of our effort. Yeah. But then I believe, like Dato' Rosmadi is saying, yeah, we can't wait for these things to really take off. Yeah, even the state government, for that matter, Sarawak, yeah. Sometimes Dato', maybe we are fortunate a little bit here. Our chief minister is really all out. Yeah.
Okay.
Out in not just driving since 2017. Driving, when he became the chief minister. Then by 2017, I think he would
Yeah.
say this as well. 2 weeks after I became the chief minister, I want to have this IDEX. Yeah,
Yes.
there's a platform, international digital economy kind of forum. Yeah, conference. Yeah. Why? Because he feels that that's going to be the order of the day for Sarawak to be a developed nation, to be a developed state, yeah, which is having to be strategically. Though I maybe slightly differ in terms of thinking perspective from Dato' tadi when you mentioned Dato' a bit on the need for that 5-year plan or whether there is a need or there's no need. But to me, we have to have a short term, long term, because there is also a need to making sure that because some of the key initiatives will only have its impact. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the quick wins that we can have, but there are areas that we really have to have that 5-year or more than that, for example. Yeah, because but then in relation to connectivity, the state government is really what you call putting this into our hands, yeah, while waiting for the federal to come in, yeah. Same for example in terms of education, for example, yeah. Meaning we are steadfast in our effort to wire, yeah, even though if we cannot wire the whole of Sarawak, definitely, but we are looking at areas where it's going to be a quick wins, yeah, and those areas we considered as now in developing our 12th MP as well as 10-year, which the Chief Minister is driving, yeah, post-pandemic Sarawak economy by 2030, anchored on the same thing, like you said, economic prosperity, inclusive society, and environmental sustainability, with a view, yeah, with a view that this will will produce the necessary GDP, increase the household income and employment, because these are real outcomes that we desired from this initiative. Yeah, it's not just about wiring, making sure the public service in this faster principle, yeah, but the need for providing the infrastructure of digital infrastructure and other forms of support in digitalizing the whole of Sarawak has to be looked in a total sum. Yeah, because we may be wired, but you know, other infrastructure is not there. You know, yes. So that's why I believe that a proper planning that we are looking at now is, among others, the economic sectors are laid out, but at the same time, the enablers of digital infrastructure is the order of the day for us to.
Thank you, Datuk Sabaria. Datuk Sabaria and Datuk Rosmadi, we have exceeded actually our time, but we still want to accommodate one more questions. This is from Miss Alicia Sion. She was asking about the empowerment given to the officers. What are the initiatives that the states have done with regards to empowerment to officers? Datuk Sabaria, would you like to give some example?
Right. You see, this is a very challenging area that we're working on, yeah? When to empower, how to empower, whether we are ready to empower, yeah? But Dato' Rosmadi has shared earlier for our pandemic kind of scenario, yeah? We have seen how the empowerment process has been kind of put this way, it is kind of successful in the sense that we have empowered our, for example, kalau Sarawak ni ada residents, ada district officers, these are the levels of empowerment that we are moving. But at the same time, the residents have their own sets of management teams that they need to empower. Right. Yeah. So in this event, yeah, I must say it's all about situational, right?
Yes.
So, yes, that's one. Number two, also the state government, for example, making sure that our officers, yeah, even from grade 41, kita dah start develop their competencies. Empowering comes with the ability of a leadership at different levels. Yeah? And for our officers to be empowered, their leadership capability must be built. And that's where competencies in many areas, core competencies, for example, legal, finance, and all those things, yeah? And even skills, other skills need to be developed to ensure that our civil servants at the lower level, lower rank, are able to undertake the decisions, yeah, undertake the roles more effectively. Yeah, this is about the key things that we are doing now, and we should be able to do it better. Yeah?
Okay. In principle kita kena tengok empowerment. Satu regulatory, satu administrative. As far as regulatory concern, kita tidak boleh empower kerana is already stated in our ordinance, enactment or act. Is dia specified the person. But as far as administrative concern, like I said during the pandemic, ketua kampung pun sudah mula bertindak untuk mengawal kampung. District officer pun sudah boleh mengeluarkan arahan-arahan yang berbentuk administratif. Dia misalnya kedai-kedai makan ditutup di antara jam ini dengan ini, kerana dia berbentuk administratif. Tetapi as far as regulatory concern, itu memang kita tidak boleh turunkan, kecuali kita ubah ordinance kita, enactment kita, dan juga akta kita. Dan juga depending, or do agree with Datuk Doktor, it is a situational kind of things. Kita tengok keadaan di mana kita boleh empower. Tetapi cara prinsipnya, Win, dia dalam konteks kerjaan negeri Sabah, apabila kita memperkenalkan thinking officer, maksudnya kita kena berfikir untuk bertindak untuk kebaikan organisasi. Maknanya that is empowerment to the individual to be creative, to be innovative, to work beyond the normal requirement. Selalunya typical government servant dia akan buat marginal performance. Tetapi bila kita terapkan nilai thinking officer, that means you go beyond. Daripada normal things of doing things, create a new things, create a challenge within your workplace. Then, macam hari ini, that means we create something to connect us antara top management dengan lower level employee. Dan dia orang boleh dengar kita, dan tidak ada benda yang kita sembunyikan dalam membuat keputusan. In this is a process juga of empowerment. Because for the first time, maknanya I would assume that ada pegawai-pegawai rendah ini yang ikut ini. Cuma dia senyap-senyap di bawah sana, tapi mendengar. Right. Berapa orang di antara waktu kita dulu, waktu saya jadi junior officer, berapa peluang saya untuk mendengar top management bercakap mengenai dengan pentadbiran awam, mengenai dengan perbincangan kita hari ini, konsep faster. So only a few. So this is empowerment by itself. Okay.
Thank you, Datuk. We really enjoyed the insights that you offered. And in fact, one of the participants is asking whether RSOG can arrange another session with both of you in the future. We wish we could continue responding to questions from participants, but we are running out of time. Dr. Rosmadi, would you like to offer some parting words before we end?
Oke, pertama selamat Hari Malaysia besok. Jangan lupa raikan Hari Malaysia karena inilah kita duduk serumpun, karena inilah kita dapat bercambah pikiran melalui ini di Sabah, Sarawak, dan di Semenanjung. Without Malaysia, kita tidak ada platform seperti begini. We are working in silo. Dan satu yang saya ingin ingatkan kepada pegawai-pegawai, kita kena berpikir daripada luar kebiasaan untuk mencipta sesuatu bagi penjawat awam. Yes, I know very well, banyak betul peraturan-peraturan, tetapi keep on thinking something new, create something new. Karena bagi saya, kalau kita tidak memikirkan benda baru, kita tidak introduce benda baru, kita tidak ubah struktur kita, to me is not a progress. A progress is when you change something, when you create something, when you introduce something, and that is a progress. So with that, I say thank you, Dato. It's been an honor talking to you, Dato. Joe, thank you once again for inviting me. Dan to all the participants, thank you karena meluangkan masa untuk mendengar kami. Sekiranya ada salah silap, saya mohon maaf. Dan selamat menyambut Hari Malaysia esok.
Thank you, Dato' Rosmadi. Dr. Sabaria, last words from Dato' before we end.
Allow me before the last word. Saya ni nak ada, nanti I will send the e-brochure. Yeah, we are going to have what you call that IDEX. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Datuk boleh join ni. Literally, you can come as well if you are free. Yeah, but this IDEX is yearly. Yeah, kalau dulu kita fikir mungkin tak boleh buat ni pandemik ni. Yeah. But now we have IDEX, International Digital Economy Conference, Sarawak 2020, 7 sehingga 8 of Oktober ni. Yeah. In fact, we are doing it hybrid. Yeah. Ni the new normal ni with the new solution. Yeah. We have it hybrid. So maknanya kita akan ada literally about 400 or to 500 participants di Borneo Convention Center, but the rest will be on a webinar or on a Zoom kind of platform. Yeah. So maknanya we are going to use both literally face-to-face as well as a digital platform. And we have invited key speakers, for example, our from international speakers, even Randy Zuckerberg, yeah, who is going to be the founder and CEO of Zuckerberg Media. We also have Stefan Garelli from IMD, founder of IMD World Competitive Center. He's a world economist, yeah, among others. There are many interesting international speakers as well as at the national level who will come down from Kuala Lumpur, but the rest from the international there will be on a digital platform. Yeah. So saya jemputlah semua Dato' semua dan those who are in this webinar to be part of the next conversation that we have on digital economy. And on this note, I would like to thank also Ismail for arranging the two of us. Dato', glad to meet you on this webinar, to provide us a platform to share our conversation today. And for the rest who are with us today, saya nak ucapkan selamat menyambut besok lah ya, lusa menyambut Hari Malaysia. Dan saya kira all of us, I believe we are blessed to be Malaysians. Ya. Dengan keadaan yang kita ada ini, alhamdulillah kita telah melalui satu era yang boleh dikatakan amat mencabar, tapi kita masih dalam keadaan yang sejahtera. Yeah, so I think the public servants, I believe I must thumbs up and congratulate each and every one of you for such a commitment that we have shown, during this pandemic towards a better nation. Yeah, on that note, may we all prosper together. Thank you.
We would like to thank Datuk Rosmadi and Datuk Dr. Sabaria for spending time with us today. Datuk Rosmadi, Datuk Dr. Sabaria, kami di RSOG sentiasa mendoakan Datuk sihat selalu, diberikan kesihatan, semoga dapat meneruskan usaha-usaha murni ini. Dah banyak program seumpama kami lalui, tapi hari ini begitu bermakna dan begitu istimewa sekali. We also thank the participant for taking part. We value your views and feedback. We apologize for any shortcoming. Please follow us on social media for future session. Till we meet again, take care, stay safe, thank you. Assalamualaikum and selamat Hari Malaysia semua.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.